This is Solo Hunters, a new action RPG on the Roblox site, and it is actually insane. Now, I've played it quite a bit, and I do quite enjoy this game. Now, if you don't know what it is basically clearing dungeons, getting as strong as possible as a player in the system. Now, you may be wondering, is this game a solo leveling game, Valentless? Yeah, it is. And before you say, whoa, this is just another solo leveling game on the site, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not. I find this game really enjoyable, and it brings that grindiness that I've been looking for in a game. Now, you clear dungeons, get better armor, get better weapons, and you can even get abilities. Now, with the weapons and abilities, you can get mastery on them. Now, if I equip my swords, you can see there is a little skill tree, basically, for the weapon. And as you can see, if I level it up over here, I get a new ability. Upgrade it over here, I get another ability. And upgrade it over here, I get another ability. And you can see there's a lot to upgrade. Now, every time you upgrade, your sword damage increases, as you can see. Right now, I'm trying to get the Tempest Barrage, because it sounds pretty cool. But as you level up, it gets a little harder to unlock the next one every time. But it is worth it, because not only does it increase your base damage for your sword, it also gives you a cool ability to use with your weapon. Now, similar to the weapons, you can master your abilities. And what do abilities do? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it is not really necessary. Right now, the best stats to upgrade is your strength and your defense. These are the two that you want to focus on the most, because the others are kind of not needed, because the enemies do a lot of damage, so you need high health to prevent them from killing you. And then you also need high damage yourself, so you can one-tap them. Now, the abilities are cool and all, but even if you was to master this to max and get all of these cool abilities, it's really not necessary, because your swords are your main damage maker. Now, there is a few issues that I found with the game, which you'll see in some of the clips that I'm showcasing as I talk about the game. Now, the enemies can attack you when you attack them, and I think there should be a bit more combat variety in the game. It is kind of just your average M1 beat 'em up kind of game, and I don't really like that, because it leads to them attacking you and draining your health when you wasn't even near them. So that's why what I found out is if you kind of rotate around behind them, they can't attack you. That's what I found, but it is kind of annoying taking them face on and then taking loads of damage. I find the bosses easier in this, so far at least. Now, you can also get armor, swords, rings. These are the runes, also known as abilities. And then you can also get other drops, such as the upgrading weapon power cells. These are pretty good because you can level up your weapon and become even stronger and do even more damage. Now, there's a lot to do in this game, and this game released quite recently. I was supposed to upload this video yesterday, but Hunty Zombies updated, so I decided to do it today. Now, this is a game I would highly recommend at least trying, because it is actually quite fun. There is loads of quests, and it is very similar to that of the solo leveling world. If we was to go over here, you can see there's loads of portals around the world, such as the caves dungeons over here, which as you level up, you will be able to face off against stronger dungeons, such as this one being an A+, and right now, the best one I can do is a D rank gate. But you can see my power level is somewhat decent. I am power level 5,833, and when you first load in, this is the guy that you mainly talk to. Now, if I was to trap my quest, I have to go over here to talk to mine. But he gives you some good quests, good rewards, and also something I would highly recommend is to save your gems until you can summon 5. Why do I say this? Because if we come over here, you can see if we summon once, we get 1 ability for 100 gems. But if we was to wait until we have 5, we get 50 gems off and we can get 5 abilities. So that is why I highly recommend saving it if you are going for the abilities. But again, your main source of damage comes from your actual weapons rather than your abilities, and the stats are very biased to the strength and defense stat right now, but I hope that changes in the future because it adds a bit more variety to your build. And also, you can get classes, something I forgot to mention nearly, but you can reroll for certain classes, and you do this by either paying Robux, which I know you're dead against, or you can redeem the code that is currently in the game. Now, I have the codes in the game, and I will also show you where you go to redeem the codes, because it is very weird that you can't just go in settings, redeem the code. You actually have to go in the world and look for the guy who you have to go to redeem the codes. So with that being said, we're going to go over there. Now, it is basically a straight path down here, and you'll see this little building here. This building is exactly what we need. These buildings over here. Because we don't want this one, okay? That was misleading. It's this guy right here. Now, if we go over and we interact, this is where you go to put in your codes. Now, I will put on the screen the current codes that are working. I haven't actually redeemed all of them, but you can see you can reset your stats, class reroll, release, 30k concurrent players, www. Thanks for the likes, guys. 35k CCU. Thanks, 33. Love to Brazil. Now, you can reset your stats if you feel like you've mucked up, but I never really use this, so it's cool to have that if I do end up doing it. But you can also reroll for classes. Now, the best one in the game currently is the Assassin class, as not only does it give you plus 20% M1 damage, but it also gives you plus 20% magic damage and plus 20% health. Now, I have Knight on, and it does literally the same as Assassin, but instead of giving me 20% stats, it gives me 10%. Now, this is pretty good, but don't worry if you get a terrible class, because I'm sure there will be codes where you can reset your class again. Now, you can see that I got a lot of gems from the codes that I redeemed that I may have missed when I last logged in, because they weren't there. But the one that you mainly want to focus on is the class reroll code, because that is probably your best one right now. Again, abilities are cool to use with your gems, but abilities are kind of worthless right now, because the one that I have, it has like a massive cutscene, and it kind of takes too long to do damage. And if you're in a dungeon with other people, it's probably already dead by the time that you stop using this ability, and it doesn't even do that much damage, unless you do upgrade it, of course. But strength is what you want to focus on, okay? Now, we do have 3 rerolls from the codes, which I've just realized. We're not going to be using them just yet, because I also do want to show you one last thing before I do that. This is the subway. Now, this is where you go for a lot of your dungeons early game, because all the quests are down here. Now, I want to show you the actual dungeons themselves. Now, you can see there's a lot of F gates, B gates, S++ gates, A+ gates. There's a lot of gates, but we're going to go in the D gate, because this is pretty cool, because you can see there is a lot of drops you can get. You can see you can get the dual daggers. It's a 1 in 30 chance, but they're very good. They're the ones I use currently. But you can also get a mythic sword, which has a 1 in about 80 chance for me. But when you're in the dungeon over here, it is a 1 in 100 chance. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, the higher the dungeon gets, the easier the drops are to obtain, which actually gives you some grinding to do in the game and actually pushes you to get even further, get the strongest stuff in the game, which is what I really enjoy about this game. So with that being said, we're just going to get into the dungeon, maybe get some of the armor that you can get. You can see you can get this awesome armor, but I'm too unlucky. I get the rings and stuff, which are cool because they do upgrade your strength and give you some bonus health, but I would love to get some cooler armor than whatever this is. Now, when you press Q gate, you can wait for other people, or you could just press start game. Now, if a dungeon has already been queued within the one you're looking at, you can just join automatically while it's already being played, if there's enough room for you to actually join. So this is the dungeon. You can see the goblins. I one-tap them because, yep, that's just how it is. But you can gain, like, health potions and stuff, which is also pretty cool. So I can use these health potions if I get too low. Something I would recommend is if you go like around the back like this and kind of like strafe around like that, you're cooking. You won't get hit. Now, in the first dungeon, you only have that first room and then the boss. But for me, I have to go through multiple floors now. You can see I'm one-tapping them. Should have done a higher dungeon, but this was the last difficulty that I did. But I think I got too strong for my own sake. But you can see now, if we go over here, the Serpent. Now, this is the boss that you're going to be very familiar with when you first start. And you can see I've got a 1 in 83 chance down there for the sword. And a 1 in 183 chance for the armor, which I really would like. And you can see I can, yeah, I kind of like decimate him. Whoops. Level 35 to, okay, 35. But we got some XP. As you get a higher level, it does take a bit longer to level up. But what do we get? We get a power cell to upgrade our weapons and a sword. Now, this is a pretty good sword when you first start off. But for me, not so much. Now, I'm just going to summon some stuff just to show you how it looks. This is the summon system. Pretty cool. Now, what do we get? Oh, we got an epic. So, we got the vines. We got lightning. This is the cutscene you get for higher rarity stuff. And it seems like I got the nature ability again. But again, these right now are kind of like pointless to do. Like, I don't use abilities, I use my sword more than anything. So, if you get something mid on this, don't worry for the meantime, because these are not your best thing to use right now. It's not like the go-to use of damage right now. But they may buff it in the future, which I hope they do, because right now these are kind of useless. So we're going to go over to this dungeon right now. We're going to talk to this guy. This guy you're going to be very familiar with when you're starting off the game. Rubble Doug. Yo, what's good, bro? We got to go to the Rykon Cave. So we got to go to an E-gate. Do you see an E-gate? I don't see an E-gate. Where's an E-gate? There's like S rarity and stuff. Ah, there we go, an E-gate. Now we're gonna start this dungeon. Hopefully we can get something good. Right, these are the ants. I usually just go behind it like that. I thought I mucked it up, but these do a hefty bit of damage. You can see if I didn't have my health there, that done 300 damage nearly. But if you just kind of strafe around like this, then you won't get hit like as much. And this is the Rykon boss. Now, you can see he gives you different loot. He gives you different armor and stuff, which is pretty cool as well. And a different ring. That ring I would love to get as well. Damn. You did a lot of damage, my friend. We're level 30. Damn, we leveled up a lot there. Level 37. And you can see we get chests. Now, what do we get? We get the... Okay. Okay, this is what you're gonna get most of the time, okay? Just get used to it. It's painful not getting the cool stuff. We can level up our stats now. Now my health is at 1,000. I'm just gonna do it on my strength because you know how it is. And oh my, I have a lot of abilities, I just realized. Now you can fuse these, which I highly recommend doing because when you fuse them, you gain a shiny variant. Now this is just basically a higher damage version of it, but apart from that, it's kind of mid still. So, right, we're actually going to re-roll our class. I don't mind what I get, okay? The assassin class has a 5% chance of dropping. So, I would love to get that, but I'm not too bothered if I don't get it. Now, we got Knight again. Knight's a very good one, okay? Don't get me wrong. But I would love to get assassin, please. Okay, we got Knight again. Great. We got Knight. But yeah, no. Knight is basically just a toned down version of the Assassin class. So, it's not that big of a deal. But I think I've covered everything in the game so far. This game I really do enjoy playing. And if you guys want me to make more videos, like on how to get stronger or something, then let me know. I'd be down to do that because this game is actually really fun right now. And I would love to put a bit more variety on the channel with all the other games that I have planned for this channel. So that being said, if you did enjoy the video, maybe consider liking and subscribing, or maybe even trying the game for yourself, because it is pretty fun. Have a good rest of your day, guys, and I'll catch you later. Peace!